Hey everyone, it's Nakul from Wiki. Welcome to the NBA preview. Jacob from Trypod is back and ready to give us a few value picks from the NBA OCT and some of his own insights as well. Welcome, Jacob.
Thanks for having me again, mate. Looking forward to it. Bunch of games on tomorrow and a couple of crackers that are on TV over here that we're going to sink our teeth into and try and find a value play or two.
Now, awesome. Okay, well, as always with the OCT, we kind of record at this awkward time where there's just enough bookies and markets to talk you through. But with some of Jacob's insights, we might not have the OCT ready for all of them just yet. But if you guys check on obviously the morning of game day in Australia, in Aussie time, it should be populated with whatever you need, and hopefully we can find some winners for you. So I'll just share my screen, bring it up. Here we go. So we're going through two games today. I'll just type that. So the Celtics and the Bucks is the first game. Jacob, you want to start giving us your insights, and I'll bring up some of these value picks.
Yep, sure. So it's Milwaukee at Boston, and I noticed Lillard's a game time decision for the Bucks, and maybe that's built into the line where the Bucks are 5.5 point underdogs, despite being on a 5-game winning streak. Now they'd be an underdog in Boston anyway, even with Dame Dollar playing, but maybe an explanation of that magnitude of that line there. To me, these are clearly the best two teams in the East when healthy. Milwaukee had a slower start to the year, but as I said, they kind of come good. Boston's more healthy. The only doubt is around Derek White with a personal issue, so you got to monitor that as well. The Celtics had actually won 6 in a row before an epic overtime upset at the hands of Charlotte. So when you get a good team that gets upset by lesser side, you're looking for a bit of a bounce back. So Boston, I expect they probably would do so at home. And I'm also just so excited about the play of the superstars from these respective teams. Preseason, my MVP pick was Tatum. He had 45, albeit in a loss to the Hornets. And Giannis, 42 points on 20 of 23 shooting, which is just kind of stupefying to me. So when I look at Milwaukee, I'm thinking, is there any doubt around Dame? That the Greek Freak could have a big night, and the Bucks are going to need to ride him to have a chance to pull the win here, I think. But I look in the backcourt at a guy like Malik Beasley. This is a guy who would definitely get a much bigger role if Dame Lillard was out, and even if he plays, he's still shooting 6 threes a game, and probably the only negative about this play is he's hitting at an outrageous clip, which is unsustainable. So there's potential for Beasley to have a bad game if he if law of averages applies and he regresses and has a quiet night. But when you have a player that takes a high volume from 3, you also have the potential for variance in your favor. And even though Boston have elite perimeter defenders, for a longer shot, I'm looking, what are we seeing about Malik Beasley? Let's say 15 plus and 20 plus. I think I've seen Beasley 15 plus. There you go, $7. And he has scored 20 plus twice in his last 4 games. So again, if you have a crack at that and get 7 about him for 15 plus, I think you have a chance if Lillard's playing, and if he's out, you have an unreal bet there.
You've got me reaching for my phone. I'm trying to sort of make sure I stop myself. That sounds awesome. I'm looking at it as just a normal punter's point of view with minimal actual NBA knowledge. And if you're telling me he's gotten 22 of the last 4 and you're getting $7 for 15 plus, I'll have a little bit of a look after this potty to see what 20 plus is. But that looks like a really good play.
Can you not check right now?
I could. I'd have to go, as in it's not on here.
Why isn't? Oh, because
we've only got 3
yet.
levels. Yeah.
Okay.
You're right.
You've got other players at 20 plus.
Sorry, my bad. It's just not up for him just yet. My bad. Yep.
Yes, okay. So again, it's one of those things where stay tuned.
Yeah.
But even $7 is juicy enough for my liking.
Yeah, well, I'm just thinking it's 8:30 p.m. Sydney time at the moment. We're going to do an update early tomorrow morning. So yeah, obviously just have a look before the game. That should be populated with some pretty juicy prices. Awesome. I'll flick through to the next game. It was Suns Warriors, right?
That's right. So we're doing Warriors at Suns, which was a great game on opening night. And the Suns did get the win there. What's unfortunate for Phoenix, who I think they were my tip to win and emerge out of the East. What's unfortunate is they haven't been able to get the band all together. Bradley Beal remains out for this one, but still The Suns have won 3 in a row, looking good, and got a narrow escape with the victory out of Utah. And they are still a handful, as always, when you've got KD and Book leading the way. As for the Warriors, they have had some early season woes. In fact, their win in Houston last game snapped a 6-game losing streak. You've got Draymond Green suspended. That, of course, that doesn't help. I'm sorry to say, Klay Thompson's not the same player, not by a long shot, that he once was. Wiggins has had a rough year. CP3's old. It's a lot of pressure on Steph Curry. So, like, as square as this sounds, if you like the Warriors, I feel like you tie him into Steph Curry 30 plus, because he probably needs to score that many to carry the Warriors to a win. But for me, and you might find Steph 30 plus out of interest, you can bring that up on the tool and have a look.
Got 25 plus, but
$1.33. To be honest, 30 plus is probably his over under is probably right around 30 and a half there. So it's not a value play. I'm just saying for a same game multi. Sure. This team's heavily reliant on Steph, but I lean to Phoenix. And so the player that I want to talk about is Yusuf Nurkic, because there's no Draymond Green to guard him and to anchor the Golden State defense. And Nurkic is a funny player because he averages about 10 a game, but he's a real feast or famine type player. I looked at, looking back at his recent games, in the last 5 games, twice he has a game where he only scored 3 points, but twice he has a game where he scored 18 points. So while he averages 10, when you've got a big standard deviation there, you don't mind having a crack at a flyer. So he's at the moment $3 to score 15 or $10 to score 20 plus. So I like that 20 plus. What you will see there on the odds comparison tool is only one bookie with markets for him available so far. So you can pull the trigger on that, but I would suggest waiting, refreshing the tool. You can probably wait till tomorrow, because this bet is not dependent on player personnel news. He's going to be starting, and there's nobody else questionable that's going to either give him more or less opportunities. So wait till maybe more markets open up, and obviously use that tool, pick off the best price. And I like having a flyer on Nurkic for 20 plus.
Can I just ask, Jacob, was that, you mentioned 2 games where he scored 3, 2 games where he scored 18. That's obviously huge variance. Was that because of someone else on his team? Was that because of their team doing really well or really badly, or just?
No, it's much more just matchup dependent, who's guarding him, and it's a case of kind of snowball. Like once he makes a few shots, he's gonna demand the ball more and take more shots. He's also a guy who even steps out behind the 3-point line, and so on a good night, he can make a couple of long balls there and really bolster his points tally. Same thing with getting to the free throw line. It just the nature of his play. Yeah, when he's on, he can score in bunches. And he can also have really quiet games. So you wouldn't use him as like a safe leg and go 10 plus or whatever in your same gamer, because he can foul you. I think you're better off playing the long shots with Nurkic.
Awesome. I think across our NFL and our NBA preview, we've got a couple of really interesting picks. So it'll be good to follow up tomorrow. If you are watching along and if you are keen to have a punt, obviously please do gamble responsibly. But if you Google Wiki Linktree, the potty that we're doing now, the odds comparison tool that you see, they'll all be available there for free, and it'll be updated on the morning of game day. So there'll be a lot more bookies and a lot more markets up, and especially the couple that Jacob's pointed out today seem pretty juicy. So we'll see how we go.